Salvation is my best gift ever. You're the tree of life. I was lost, now I am found.
Today, we're going to talk about World War III between US and Russia. The 2018 World War III vision that I received the vision about the war between USA and Russia. That was back in 2018. It's been only 4 years. 4 years young. But yet, it shall come to pass. I will show you why and how I believe and I know where that is going to come to pass. This is a new revelation war that I was shown happening between Russia and USA, where Russia is going to be attacking USA in direct war, nuclear war. After receiving this vision, I discussed this, revealed this to a co-worker, about the new war. And he said, nah, it's not going to happen. But I know and I'm convinced 100%, 101% that this war is going to take place in the very near future. The question is, how long should we wait until it's going to come to pass? How far have we gone to aggress each other in terms of Russia and US? Let's see. It's coming soon. Be ready, be prepared, especially in your spirit, your heart, and of course, if you can escape, you feel like, you think you can escape nuclear war, go ahead and prepare. But the best preparation you can afford is to put yourself right with God. Make sure that when it happens, you are going to make it to heaven. All right? Russia and US, as I said, is going to be a direct war between USA and Russia. Why is that? Because these are the two superpowers we have right now. 5,000 nukes each, and no wonder why they're increasing the numbers of these nukes. Why is that? Why increasing these bombs if you know they're gonna kill humanity? It's because at one point they know where they're going to use them. They are going to use them. North Korea, Russia, US, they test and test and test day in, day out. Why do you think they're testing day in, day out? Because they know at one point you will use them. Iran is seeking to have some, a piece of the cake as well. But why? Because they know they need these nukes to defend themselves, as they call, but it's going to cause destruction to many. It's written. Let's see. 4 years later, you may say, okay, it's been 4 years since 2018 when I received this vision. Nothing has happened yet, right? Oh, it's not going to happen. Oh, it's going to be avoided. No, let me show you. In 2010, I received a message about Ukraine. This war you see today, I received the vision in 2010. 2010, I prepared this as a paper. I just wrote down everything as just a paper. 10 years later, the Spirit of God kept pushing me, turn this into a book. I said, no, I'm in the middle of writing another book. Turn this into a book. And I said to myself, God, I'm writing this book here, this big book here. How in the world are you telling me to take Ukraine and turn it into a book? I'm busy enough. I cannot afford to turn Ukraine into a book. The Spirit of God kept pushing me. Turn this into a book. Turn this into a book. That was 2020. 10 years later, right? 2010, I received the vision. 2020, the Spirit of God is pushing me, pushing hard to turn this into a book. I'm glad I did. 2020, I turned this into a book, and it's all about how all we see happening in Ukraine right now started. That was the early 1990s when Ukraine became independent and the fall of USSR. So all this happening today in Ukraine right now, it's a consequence of what I wrote here and what happened in Ukraine in the early 1990s. So it took how many years? 10 years. 10 years. And of course, after I published this book in 2022, the war broke in Ukraine. You see, 12 years altogether. 2010, I received the vision. 2020, the Spirit of God kept pushing me 10 years later to turn this into a book. And 2 years later, the war began in Ukraine. The rest is history. And of course, history is being shaped right now in Ukraine as we speak by the Russians. And after that, we are going to see what's going to happen, because we know where the world at least knows that the war in Ukraine would not be possible if USA was not hiding behind and push it from behind. And the Russians, they know this very well. Let's see. Russia weakening. So what's happening now in Ukraine, as the USA said, is what they call fight your enemy at home before the enemy comes at your home. So what USA is doing is hiding behind Ukraine and fight Russia indirectly, hoping that this is going to weaken Russians. But this is a big mistake, because the Russians know better. And Americans, USA knows this. This kind of aggression is going to come to bite in the end, because otherwise I would not be here talking about World War III, the nuke reversion war. So, as I said, this again is a proof that what I say, what I received as a vision, is going to pass. Is going to pass. It's been only 4 years. And remember, when I received this book, it took how many years? 10 years plus 2, 12 years until the war broke in Ukraine. Now, how close are we today in 2022 until the war, nuke war between USA and Russia will become reality? So I would say it can happen anytime. Seeing now the situation and the behavior, misbehaving between US and Russia, the misbehaving they are, exchanging, it can cause this to come to pass quickly. It can happen anytime. But based on what I believe and what I've seen in the past, the nuke war between Russia and USA will happen within 5 to 8 years. It's not going to be more than 8 years. It's going to be less than 8 years. 8 years, it's the highest, the max. Within 8 years, we are going to experience this war. So that's say 5, 6, 7, or 8 years, or it can be quickly based on the behavior. So from now and on, it can happen anytime. But the problem is, nobody wants to be the first to launch this war. Because here, calculation and the waiting, timing, targeting is going to cause this war to delay a little bit. Because a lot have to happen until they can go to nuke war. Let's see. Russia, Ukraine. Ukraine is going to lose for sure. Ukraine is going to lose this war. And the meaning of this war, Russia winning and defeating Ukraine and bring them to their knees, is an insult to the US and Europe in a very, very direct way. And this is when they're going to react to try to go after Russia in all ways, as they have started to do since the Ukraine war. Remember? Sanctions, all these kind of things. This means that the Ukrainian war has created biggest enemies between US and Russia. They can never come together again. because now the Russians can no longer trust Europe or USA. So that means it has become a permanent hate between US and Russia, and this is going to bring the entire world to the new war. No question asked, no denial, no doubt, this is going to pass. I guarantee you 100% is going to happen. The fact is the increase of the nuke bombs. Why is that? Because they know they need more than needed to bring down each other. But again, humanity is going to be the one we suffer most. You hear people talk about Great Reset, the New World Order. Of course, all these talks are coming forth because they know something big is coming. You cannot have a reset without having everyone on the same table, same page. This is what they're trying to do by bringing Russians on the same table. And Russia is not willing to be on the same table based on the hate that was created in between two countries. So make sure you prepare right by putting yourself right with God, because only those in spirit and trust and believe in God are going to be the one who will survive. Even though they die, they will live, because we are spirits and never die. Thank you very much for watching. May God bless you. Shalom, shalom, shalom.
Salvation is my best gift ever. You're the tree of life. I was lost, now I am found.